There we go. Now we've got it. Hi, welcome to Gulotta Studios. I'm Dave Gulotta. Going to be finishing up this painting here with palette knives, and I'm using some very unusual palette knives. You can see they have these really interesting cuts to them. They're fairly new. They've only been around for a few years, this type of palette knife. Normally when you think of a palette knife, you think of something like this, a trowel, your classic trowel. These are not that. Look at this beauty. That's very interesting. And these provide a variety of shapes, and these are the ones I'm using today. I have this, oops, there we go, scalloped edge one here. And these unusual shapes can be used to get a lot of different textures in a painting. I have my paints all set on my palette. I'll show you that right here. So I've got all the colors that I'm going to need to finish up this painting. And this is all done with palette knife. It's one of my cityscape series. And as you can see, the paint is very, very heavy, very heavily applied. And that's what I want for this. I want to have a nice, heavy application of paint. I want those textures. I want those colors. I want it to really pop out and, you can really see it. So, let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to work on the sky a little bit. I've been leaving that off, and I want to add a little variation. One of the variations I want to add is a little bit of brightness. So I'm going to use the scalloped edge with a little bit of this nickel titanium yellow. Please do not eat or drink in a studio. Some of the paints we use are very dangerous. And I just want to add, I just want to break that up. And you can see it gives this ridged texture that you can kind of play with. You can make it squiggle and do all sorts of things. Okay, I like that. And it breaks up the color and makes that area look like it's got some shine to it, which is really what I want. A little bit of a brighter shine here. I don't mind some of the darker colors, because dark colors make brighter colors even brighter. So if you want to have, I'm even going to move up. I'm really scraping in. You can hear it. And I'm crisscrossing them. So it almost looks like heat waves. There we go. Yeah, if you wiggle it around, it gets a nice heat wave type pattern to it. And just put a little paint on the edge here. There we go. I'm going to break that up. Don't want too much. I don't want to get too far into this other area here. Just a little bit. There we go. Just an indication. Spots here and there. There. But now we got a progression. And it looks like I could use a little bit more here. I just want to use it very, very lightly, very sparingly. I really don't want to go too crazy with this. And it's very easy to do that. Very easy to go too far. There we go. So you just have to keep in mind that you're looking for subtle changes at this stage. Most of the painting is ready. You just want some changes here and there, just to match things up a little. I'm going to break up this dark area here a little more. I just saw on the camera, it's a little dark. There we go. This area will keep mostly dark. All right. I think I'm done with that color for there. You can see how it's breaking up, and then when you see it from a distance, hey, I got this interesting sky that's shining across here. I'm going to use a little bit of this very bright white, just a little, just to tap it here and there, just give it a bit of sparkle here and there. I don't want too heavy a white here, because that's too much. There we go. Just there, just a touch. There. You know, we've evened up the sky just a little bit, but it still is a nice streaky sky. It's got a lot of really interesting textures and colors to it. I almost said flavors. Sometimes I think of it that way. All right. I'm going to take this very fine-toothed one here. And I'm just going to come into the whites. And what I'm doing is I'm just catching the edge of it here. I want an indication, just some window lights through here. And it's okay if not all of them come in, because not everybody has the lights on. But this way, you've got these window lights coming down. I'm going to take this, I'm just going to wiggle it here, kind of break it up, make it look interesting, because this was that, I was thinking like a little shop down below. Yeah, see, down in here, you have like a construction thing overhead and a little shop down below that you can maybe buy some things. Who knows? That could be fun. I also want to get, just want to skip in some lights here. Not too many. Just here and there. Regular intervals. There's some bits. Yeah, I didn't like that one. Okay. Now, I want to get to a medium field here. I'm going to smooth out the paint. And actually, I'm going to get the paint a little messy. I'm using two different colors, the yellow and the white, together. I'm going to go back up here and just touch these. Just a bit. Just to bring them into play a little bit more than they were. There we go. And that building is very up front. So you want to kind of showcase it a little bit, you know. There we go. That's nice. I like that. I'm going to do the same with these buildings here. I'm going to work on this one here, down below. And this I'm just going to put a little bit here and there. Just like that. Just a little. Doesn't need much. And the same with this one here. Just a few. Now I'm going to take the broad one. Aha! This is the big guy here. I'm using the same technique. I'm just bringing these in. Bit by bit. Just to put in the indication of some windows. And not all the windows are on. That's a good thing. Otherwise it's going to look funny. You know, people are like, what is that? And then here, I'm going to use the same thing. I'm just going to bring these down here. There we go. We got this nice little shop window there. And I may do the same here. There we go. Hey, just a back and forth motion. Over and over. All right. Here I'm just going to sideways put in some indications of some things happening. Don't want it too detailed with this one, nor with that. I'm just using the very tip. Not using much at all. Not using a lot of paint here. Just enough to indicate that there are some windows going on here. All right. Good. Now, I've got some little details I want to do. I got a nice purple here. I'm going to put a little bit of that in our little shop area there. I'm also going to put a couple of garbage cans. I'll put some red with that. There we go. Yeah. There. Can't really have a city without that. Use that same purpley color here. Maybe that's the main doors. Add a little bit of that orangey there. That's nice. Get some of that in here. Make some points of interest Get some brighter colors in there so it makes it look a little window. There we go. All right, we're almost done here. Just putting a few little key pieces into place. Oh, look at that. That looks like a little car. He's got his window there. There we go. Just the indication that maybe there's something there. Yeah, there's the hood. Oh, it's a sporty little thing, isn't it? That's kind of nice. I'm going to take just the tip of a regular trowel with a little bit of this dark olive color. Just the indication. I don't want any details, just the indication of tires. There we go. Now, of course, that's going to need headlights. Now, headlight number 1, headlight number 2. And we've got our little car there sitting on the side. Maybe he's going through the neighborhood, you know, visiting. Add some touches here and there because, you know, I have found when I lived in the city that, you know, the windows always had like a touch of something. Things are actually a little more chaotic. When people think of city buildings, they think of them as very, very regular, but actually it's not true. There's a lot of really interesting colors that come with a building like this, or like these rather. And sometimes you get these really interesting colors, especially in the dawn, you know, when things are first opening up. Whoops. There we go. That's better. There. I'm going to add a little more mass to that. I want that a little more. There we go. Put in a few details here and there. Some more colors just to indicate that I like color, which is true. That's a real truth. I love color. Anyone who's watched any of these videos already that I've made knows I love colors. So this is a great way for me to really just get involved in the color and not so much in the form. Although I like having a bit of form there just to give me a little guide. Now, I've been able to get the reds and greens to work together. I've also been able to get the yellows and the purples to work together. And that's not always easy because yellow and purple make brown. Green and red make brown when you mix them together. They're opposite colors. Normally they don't really like each other. But if you treat them equally, sometimes you can get away with some very interesting effects that bring things out. All right, there we go. So I would say that Cityscape number 9 is finished. So now I have to sign it. So, grab my brush. I'm going to mix up some colors here. I want one color. One massive color. So I'm mixing all the different paints together. And I'm adding a touch of medium. Let me just grab my proper little votive candle holder. I use that as medium cups. They work really well. They're very good for it. There we go. I got a nice bright, almost like a vermilion. All right. And I'm going to sign it right here. There we go. I don't know. That's not easy to see, is it? All right, let's try something else here. Let's try that little trick of the greens making browns. Let's give that a shot. There we go. This might be something though. There we go. Well, I'm going to have to wait until this dries before I can actually sign it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little naughty here. I'm going to tag one of the buildings. With an old logo of mine. There we go. So at least it's partially signed. And I'll sign the rest of it once everything is dry and the colors don't mix so much. And that way also I get to kind of pick a color that I want to use. Maybe a blue. I think a blue might go well there. So I hope you have enjoyed. We have now a completed painting, which is 9th Street of the City Street series. I hope you have enjoyed watching this little live feed here on YouTube at Gulotta Studios. And I hope you have a really wonderful and creative day. Have a good one. Thanks for seeing.